Good morning, and thank you for joining me. I'm here today to talk about some of the shipping challenges that face opportunities and the retailers for 2021 shipping season. We've had some calls, we've had some concerns, and I think some more information is needed so you can help understand the process in which we go through year after year after year, and then with the challenges that we face this year. In past years, opportunities goes down to market in January's. We capture the sales orders from the retailers. We allow you to place orders all the way up until March 15th. Orders are then consolidated. Orders are given to the factory, and the factory goes into a production mode. And then we start determining shipping schedules because all the products that are made in China is then scheduled to arrive in Chicago warehouse in an even flow situation so that the warehouse is able to process the containers. We have the square footage that we need to be able to do pick and pack, sort, palletize, and then ship out to the retailers. That's pretty much kind of our shipping cycle. However, due to COVID-19 that continues to challenge each and every one of us, coast to coast, globally, we have ports that are shut down. We have, whether it's in China or United States. And we also have our workforce is not up to 100%. So we are lacking employees to help process this along the way. We have the new Delta variant. We have the rail yards are completely packed right now. They talk about congestion. We have pictures that are given to us weekly, so that shows us where we're at in the Chicago rail yards. There's multiple rail yards across the United States. And I think that you were notified a good 3 weeks ago that the rail yards were shutting down, meaning they were not taking on any additional freight in order to try to process the congestion freight. We have containers that have been in the process well over 90 days trying to get that container into Chicago. So basically, with those challenges that we're facing and looking at that even flow, what we had to do is we had to go back to RIM Logistics because we were getting notification that our containers, we had bookings onto these shipping vessels or what they would call a carrier. We had these bookings and we were getting bumped or we were getting cancellations. So as we continue to have product made, and today, Opportunities has about 85% of the products completely made as of right now. They're either in the factory's warehouses or we actually had to rent a warehouse overseas so we could move the product out of the warehouses so that that factory can continue on with production. So about 85% complete. Out of 85% complete, we have about 60% of the products on a container heading this way. So out of the 60, we're looking at probably a 70-30 split. We have about 30% of Opportunities products right now that are tied up into this rail congestion situation right now. We have product that has been in this situation over 90 days. We're almost up to 100 days with a few of those containers. We have some of those containers that are stopped anywhere from Vancouver to Tacoma all the way to Chicago. So once we were not getting the bookings, once the carriers were having cancellation of assigning us the container, we asked RIM, what are we going to do? What's going to happen? And they said that the carriers are only booking port to port deliveries or port to port bookings in which that you have to leave a port in China, then you have to arrive to a port in United States. Well, final destination usually from Opportunities is Chicago. Well, they will no longer taking our bookings because that meant a container would have to go through the congestion railway. And so RIM's like, we can't get your containers, we can't get bookings, prices are through the roof due to, you've got COVID-19, you've got the Delta variant, you've got lack of workers at ports, you've got congestion at the rail yard. So you have a global consumption that is up over 35%, that's worldwide. And then so you have the supply and demand where you have the supplies, the equipment, the chassis are at its all-time low. You've got some of the ships that didn't recover from COVID where they mothballed some of them ships and they didn't bring them back into circulation. And then you have this demand for the need of products. So what does that do to supply and demand? Well, if that is your equation, prices go up. So in order to get bookings, you have to increase the prices. So obviously everybody knows about the surcharges that many importers are putting onto their goods because those costs are real. Our prices for containers have tripled, if not quadrupled, since the same time last year. In addition to that, you have carriers that say, due to the congestion at the rail yard, we will no longer give you an inland booking, meaning Chicago booking. They will only deliver to the port. Luckily, Opportunities has had a 20+ year relationship with RIM Logistics out of Chicago. That's where their headquarters, that's where that big warehouse is. That's the space that when we are creating our shipping schedule and we know how much space we have to use and utilize, that's where the products goes. But we could not use Chicago because the carriers will not book our freight. So then we asked RIM, do you have another facility? They have one out in LA. However, that facility is a much, much smaller facility. They don't have the floor space, they don't have the workers, nor do they have the workflow. And after talking with them and negotiating with them, they agreed that they would process Opportunities containers as they come so we could get the booking so that product could leave China and could get into the States. We are determined after through all the catalog companies and also all the retailers that don't participate in catalogs, we are determined to make sure that we have that flow of goods into your stores, because we realize if the retailers, if you do not have product, how do you make the sales? Granted, we have increased costs. Granted, you're having surcharges. Now you have one more added expense, is now the freight is going to have to ship from Opportunities. So if you are in the Midwest, you're in Michigan, you're in Ohio, you're in Indiana, you're used to a much, much lower freight rate due to the consolidation factor in addition to the zones in which we ship in. If you're in South Carolina, you're in Florida, you're going to pay a little bit more, New York, but you understand that's been our cost of goods ratio when you look at freight charges to the cost of goods. However, now we are shipping through California, and because of the unevenness or the ability to schedule freight accordingly and having a smaller footprint of warehouse, we have to process these containers one container at a time. Possibly they might be able to do 2 containers at a time if they have the space allotment. So that's what Opportunities is doing. We had several talks internally and also with the catalog companies trying to streamline. I know you are counting on Opportunities to deliver their great products, great trend items, and you need the sales. So we're determined to make sure that we get that cargo on these boats, get it into a warehouse so we can distribute for all your retailers. Understand that we're going to have higher freight costs, because if you're in South Carolina, if you're in New York, if you're in Florida, we are shipping from our LA warehouse. And instead of being able to palletize, we may be able to palletize for some of the same good items that maybe you're ordering from multiple stores. We will do the best we can. However, if we can't, Opportunities has a UPS freight account, and we pass on any discount we get UPS. We pass it on to you retailers. And I know some of you other retailers have FedEx accounts, so you are already involved into a buying group or into a co-op that allows you a discounted freight rate. I'm just here to assure you today that we are doing everything we possibly can to minimize these impacts, these costs to you. You know, a couple retailers called me up last week and says, well, so-and-so this importer, so-and-so this importer is doing this and doing that. And I understand each importer, just like each retailer, you're very unique. We are very unique. And we are given a set of circumstances, and we're doing the best we can to be able to process all of these goods, with the understanding that we have some hard catalog dates that we need to be able to hit. And also, I don't think anybody would be very happy if we try to ship you our beautiful green Christmas tree in February, because by that time freight rates have went down, maybe the congestion is cleared up, and we're able to do that. I think we're doing the best we can to handle the situation as like I say, as things get thrown at us. Literally, I spend at least half of my day every morning on the phone with RIM Logistics or through emails or through China, looking for containers, looking for the charter vessels, or looking for the vessels to be able to get the goods over here to the United States. Also keep in mind that through this whole process, that we're in this together. Just like you, Opportunities is a small business, and we are a team player. We want to make sure that we are passing any kind of savings. You know, we don't like adding up extra costs for your retailers, but we want to make sure that you're successful. We want to make sure that you have the goods in your stores when you need to have them in the stores. So I just want you to know that we are here to help. We're here to support. If you have any questions or you want to talk to me further about anything that's been discussed in this video, I'll be more than happy to talk to you of what you need to do. People are asking me, interesting, you know, what should I do at store level? Well, if you're seeing increased prices, then you need to also increase your prices, because I'm here to tell you, I'm here to say that the consumption being up 35% globally, there is going to be some containers that are not going to be able to get to shore. There's going to be some importers that are not going to be able to fulfill the orders, because whether they're an inland destination, as of today, there's still the carriers are cherry picking who they're going to allow to give a container to. So if some of these, if you're not at port, you're already at a little bit of a disadvantage because you have to go through the rail yard. So you need to make sure that the inventory that you have in your stores, that you're getting the margins that you need to do. I understand that you'll need some good product for traffic drivers. Maybe you have to reduce the number of traffic drivers so you can kind of make up that margin. If you're at a $12.99 retail, you can go up to a $14.99 retail, and you might not have that impact. So you might have to look around your stores and looking at the products you have and evaluate, how do I make up that margin when I have a little bit more of a surcharge, when I have a higher shipping cost due to goods? Can you raise everything? Probably not. However, I'm going to go back to our classic Christmas tree. We launched that classic Christmas tree back in 2013. We were $15.95 or $17.95, depending if you're a member or non-member, depending what your prices are, and you were selling it at $39.99. However, this is 2021. We're 8 years into this. It's time we can raise that Christmas tree, maybe to a $44.99, maybe to a $49.99. You have to look at each individual item and look at that. And as you know, with Opportunities, we're pretty much order to order. We don't have a whole lot of reorder opportunities. Sometimes we do with catalog picked items, and you have that ability, but we are order to order. So you need to make sure that you're getting your margin, because if you sell that item at a lower margin, thinking that you're going to be able, well, I'll just make it up with volume, that's great, but sometimes we don't have the volume left in the warehouse to be able to ship you. And so you're going to have a little loss of margin. So I think we have to walk a balanced line. You have to understand that as soon as we possibly can, as soon as the rails are able to move that product, so we could have even a 60-day window that I know that we can put our container onto that vessel, onto that carrier, and we can get it into the warehouse in 60 days, then we're going to go back to doing the Chicago route. But up until that time, we have to be flexible. We have to utilize the assets we have available. We have to use the RIM Logistics warehouse in LA so that you retailers will be able to have the products you need for your stores. And just rest assured, we're looking at that on a daily basis to make these determinations. Can we pull this container all the way into Chicago? So I hope that this information that I've been able to share with you is beneficial to help you make the decisions you need to be able to make for your stores, and also to be able to plan ahead. And again, our customer service staff is phenomenal at Opportunities, and they're there standing by to help you. And we are working very, very hard to make sure that we have these as much of as on-time delivery as we possibly can, and you have time to be able to get this product in your store and out on the floor so you can be able to have it for your holiday season. So thank you very much. I'm available if you need me, and I hope you have a wonderful day.